Howdy, partner. Fixed my mic so it might sound a little better this time. I wrote this script before that newest Schnee video came out. I think it was about Powder and Echo. I don't quite remember, but I remember him saying that he was going to make another video soon about how Jinx is not dead from a writing perspective, and that was literally the night after I wrote my script on why Jinx's story is not done from a writing perspective. And so his will be much better than mine. Let's just preface that. But if you want to watch this one as you wait for that one to come out and just watch my jumbled version of what I think happened, go right ahead. These videos make me happy to be able to just scream into the void how much I love this show and how much I love analyzing it. But yeah, I guess I'll just jump right into it. You know what I mean? Let's just jump into it. Jinx's story is not done where Vi's is. Starting with season 1, we are introduced to the relationship of Powder and Vi. Vi being the wiser and more headstrong of the two, whereas Jinx is the smarter but more insecure of the two. Vi's flaw in the beginning is that she believes in Powder to an extent that is delusional. She doesn't quite understand the difference in Powder's mind versus herself. She has a lot of faith in Powder doing things a certain way, but Powder always has another path in mind. From the time they get jumped as kids, Powder has a habit of running away. At this point, it's because she's not strong enough of a fighter yet, but she always gets away with her quick thinking. Then when Vi expects her to stay home away from danger so that her and the crew can save Vander, she does the opposite and figures out a way that she can help. To finally be useful to her family, that self-deprecating voice in her head telling her she's weak, being egged on also by Milo, will finally be put to rest when she proves what Vi once told her: what makes you different makes you strong. And she ends up killing her family and believing that Vi is dead for years. The last thing she hears from Vi is that she's a Jinx. Something that has plagued her ever since she was adopted into this new family. Vi, on the other hand, has proven through and through already that she does not understand who Powder is and what her next move will be. This is her downfall as her protector. When they reunite and Jinx projects herself as someone that is so different from the vision in Vi's head, Vi is in denial at first, believing that they can live in the same reality and dynamic that they used to. But Jinx cannot comprehend the idea that Vi, or even herself, could love more than one person at a time. Entering the problem of Caitlyn. Jinx believes that Vi has to make a choice, and in that tea party dinner table scene, I believe Jinx thinks she has to make a choice as well between her beloved sister Vi or her new adopted father Silco. Then she kills Silco. Even though it was in a daze of mania, she still made a choice, probably because Silco managed to grab a gun and was about to shoot Vi. Jinx was forced to make a choice. But when Vi refuses to make a choice like Jinx just did, she makes that choice for Vi, becoming a horrifying version of herself, raw and laid out for Vi to witness. She does the most horrifying act of war on the council, rejecting their peace all for a self-serving and self-fulfilling prophecy of becoming a Jinx. Vi falls for it, becomes overwhelmed with the responsibility and guilt of being the one who, as far as she knows, took part in the creation of Jinx as a war criminal. Then Jinx is on the run, elusive and in the shadows, not living for a bigger purpose, running away and believing she finally got to Vi, and now Vi will live on with her replacement, Caitlyn, and all will be in order. But what she doesn't know, and what she learns later, is that Caitlyn's mother was among those killed in the bombing, creating a link between Caitlyn and Jinx. And Vi being lost without her purpose for so long being to get back to Powder, just for Powder to be essentially gone and ravaged by this new persona, Jinx. She feels it's her place to take her out of the game completely. That's my dog, I'll do it. Type beat, you know? When Powder learns that Vi would do something so horrible as to wear the same uniform that her parents' murderers donned, she has every right to feel at odds of a most devastating betrayal. But even with that, she plots a battle that she's supposed to die in. She plans on dying at the hands of her sister, not only to free the world of her sabotaging nature, but to release Vi of her previously unwavering faith in Powder's return. If Jinx dies at the hands of Vi, then Vi truly has let go of the idea of getting back to Powder, and moved on with Caitlyn. But Isha Isha gets in the middle of this battle, and not only does Vi not want to kill a child, she sees that Jinx is loved by someone, and that Jinx cares for this child, not wanting her to get in the middle of a deadly battle. She has not ruined the life of this child. She is not a Jinx in full like she was when she fired that rocket into the council. Then when she releases the Factory Grey onto Piltover, which was supposed to be an equalizing war move that was supposed to be a self-serving fuck you to Piltover, a statement that, unlike the rocket, was a direct mirror to the conditions of Zaun versus Piltover. At least that's how Zaun and Piltover saw it, but Jinx did it because Vi and Caitlyn should not do such a horrible act unscathed. Jinx needed Vi to see that what she was falling for was ridiculous, and that Caitlyn's perfect city was not safe from the gas that they were so repulsed by. She did not do this because of an unwavering loyalty to Zaun. That was always Silco's motivation, because Jinx was a weapon to him as well as a daughter. But what is a weapon without its wielder? But Jinx did not die. She got away again, and Vi being in the same spot that she ended up in season 1 at the tea party dinner table thing. But this time it was Caitlyn forcing her to choose, and Caitlyn chose for her, just like Jinx did. But Vi now had no one. This time Vi is truly alone, no purpose, and in the same spot that Jinx was at the beginning of the second season, but she didn't have an Isha to pull her out of it. Because her Isha is powder. Hello. She spirals into alcoholism, her only friend Loris eventually leaving her because she becomes so inflammatory and self-sabotaging. She loses herself completely. And the animators even visualize that by taking away her magenta hair, covering it in a sleek black, covering her Vi tattoo on her face, and now covering her powder tattoos, her smoke tattoos that represent her getting back to powder. Her one motivation that she used for 7 years was the idea of getting back to powder, and we visually have that covered up. She throws herself into fighting, likely to an eventual death if it wasn't for Jinx recruiting her for what seems like an impossible mission. In their interaction, Vi is very doubtful of Jinx the whole time, up until she sees Jinx care for Isha just like she saw several months ago. She's reminded that she's not a Jinx. Not completely, and that she has stabilized significantly. Now, when Jinx finally addresses herself as a hero both in the jail and here, it's with an air of mockery for both Vi and herself. She wasn't always like this, you know, before I kicked her ass. But Jinx did not win their last fight. In fact, when Jinx found her again sleeping in her apartment, she was almost choked out by Vi, who didn't have her gauntlets on. With Jinx being the overpowered of the two, she could have moved out of the way with her shimmer speed, but it seems like Jinx was genuinely taken off guard, or knew that Vi would not actually kill her. But still, she didn't win that one either. The last fight that she won was when she knocked out her sister from behind and stuck her on that table at the tea party. But if she's talking about that fight when she says, before I kicked her ass, claiming that she was more tolerable before then, as in Vi changed for the worse, that is Jinx still reflecting on herself as a Jinx. Someone that ruined Vi, though willingly. She believes that it's all her fault. I think it's very important here that Jinx points out a pattern of failure that happens when they don't work together, when they don't help each other. This whole show, and especially this season, has been about Jinx becoming a force of good and justice, and seeing that, and identifying herself in that way. In the other timeline, we see that she is a good person, truly good, but completely neutered from her scientific world-changing potential. Both versions of her are unable to fathom each other, though they are both completely capable of becoming each other, whereas Vi's ultimate arc is to live her life for herself for the first time, not for someone else's protection or purpose, and to do it in a way that fulfills her, where she can learn to love both herself and other people without being responsible for someone else. And here, when Jinx finally has her sister, Isha, and Vander all together, she can start to comprehend that she can love more than one person at a time. That moment is huge for her, but when Victor tells her that she could use her abilities for good, she says, "I'll stick to what I know, thanks." Still making a choice to be a Jinx and trapping herself again. And when Isha dies, as well as Vander again, She blames herself, thinking that this happened because she herself is a trap and not a victim of circumstance. She feels the need to rid herself from the last person she loves, Vi, or rid Vi of herself. She is back in that spot that she was at the end of Season 2, Act 1, where she needs Vi to let her go again. But Vi saw Powder again, and isn't giving up this time. Powder even says, "You're never gonna give up on me, are you?" Still thinks that Vi needs to in order to be happy. Back at square one, she tells Vi she plans on breaking the cycle, and this hurts Vi not because Vi thinks she's going to die, but because she is again not using her abilities to enact a positive change and to write a better future for herself, of which she's extremely capable. She likely thinks that Jinx is gonna run away again, and she says this when she addresses it with Caitlyn, saying that Jinx doesn't want to help. And she also says this when Jinx does come to help, but it all goes to shit, and she tells her sister, "Looks like you shouldn't have come back." That's not something you say to someone who is planning on dying. That's something you say to someone who was running away. Though some people say in the prison cell her wording was obvious as to what her intention was to die that night, we only know that because we are the omnipotent viewer. We saw her have that complete conversation with Silco in her mind. And I can't help but think about that line, breaking the cycle. To us, we just had the context of the conversation with Silco, but to Vi, the last time Jinx talked about a failing pattern was when Jinx was asking Vi for help in finding Vander. Asking for help, working together. And that's how Vi explains it to Caitlyn as well. Jinx doesn't want to help. And that wording is so bittersweet because Vi knows that Jinx is capable of good. There is no more doubt. But Jinx just keeps making the wrong choice. Y'all probably been through something like that before where you have a really smart friend or a family member and they just keep making the wrong choice. It's like, you're so much better than that. Okay, but what feels like the first time, Vi's blind faith in her sister finally has a tangible ground to work on, and the only one standing in the way is Jinx. So we get to the end where Vi really watches her sister die. Though she's not ready to see her sister go, Jinx makes the decision to sacrifice herself for her sister, but still does it believing that she can't have people close to her, and that she will ruin them, so she has to die in their eyes, even if it hurts them. And we know she thinks this because the show heavily implies that she leaves. She leaves in that blip, and the words flash the end in her classic Jinx handwriting. She still thinks that she is the embodiment of the cycle of violence and needs to be far away from the people that she loves. So Jinx still has some serious growing to do. And I don't know how we're gonna get there after she cuts herself off from all of the people in her life that she loves and care about her and believe in her, but I also trust the writers. So I'm looking forward to the full rounded story of Jinx, but I think we'll see a lot more of her. I don't think we're going to see much, if not any, of Vi, because Vi's story, in my opinion, is complete. She lives for herself, she's in love, and she keeps the memory of Jinx very fondly in her heart, her last words to her being, "Always with you, sis." So cute. We have the end of the story and a full arc for Vi, but not for Jinx. And that's how I interpret this story. The end. That's my take. I think that the story of these two sisters is so beautiful and complex, and they're both so gray. Neither of them are completely in the right, and it just hurts. It hurts in a way that's so real because some of these elements are so relatable with the people that you love and being so frustrated with them. I don't know if I'm gonna do many more Arcane analysis videos or just breakdown videos or just my opinion. I don't know what you would call this because I don't know if I'm doing anything here. I'm doing whatever I'm doing, it's for me, and I'm just happy to talk about Arcane on anything. If I get stuck on an idea that I want to explore in another video, or just lay out in words something that I'm feeling about the show, then I'll do that. But I also want to talk about some other shows that I like, because Arcane is probably my favorite show, but I have other favorites, and not a lot of people talk about those shows, and I want to talk about them. But I guess, I don't know, we'll see. This has been fun for me. I loved Arcane. I still love Arcane. I'm gonna watch it again because I feel like, ooh, there's so many details that I get, new details that I get every single time, and connections and relationships, and it's so fantastic. Such a fantastic show. I want these writers to be the only writers in Hollywood. Oh, it's so good. It's so delicious. Thank you. Oh, the misery. Oh, the Mr. Beast. I can feel the light shine. I used to be a really big 21 Pilots fan. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.